All right. Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome. My name is Michelle Anantua, co-owner of Harmony's Divine Design. I work alongside the awesome T Weaver, who just happens to be my mom. At Harmony's Divine Design, we work with new and seasoned entrepreneurs in helping you guys achieve your goals. So we do this by offering one-on-one business coaching as well as online classes and products and services to help streamline your workflow. And next to me, you see the awesome Kim James. So, Kim.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kimberly James, and I'm the owner and creative director of Josie and my clients pay me to bring their vision to life. I empower them through creativity, mindset transformation, and personal growth by offering digital and physical products that reflect our unique style, craft workshops to spark your creativity, 30-day challenges to expand your mind, and one-on-one coaching to help you achieve your goals. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
Awesome, awesome. So, today we are going to be talking about a really powerful topic, um, the battlefield of life, right? We know that, uh, as my mama would say, you live long enough, you get some experience under your belt. And that is so true. There are times, even within my young years, that I have come up against opposition. And in those moments, I have realized that when we come up against opposition, it's really a challenge on our character. And when I say that, it challenges our character in multiple ways. But one really truly is our mindset. When opposition comes, our response helps us dictate the actions that we're going to take to move forward. So I know some of us may have heard of fight or flight, which is a natural trauma response, right? So if there is an action that occurs that makes you have a negative emotional response, uh, our bodies are automatically programmed to either fight the resilience or we are going to run away from it. And pending the situation, our reaction will vary. But in this mindset, we are pretty much going to talk about the battlefield that is internal within us and also external, and how that pretty much runs into our business. So I would ask you guys, what is one battle that you have had within your own business, maybe just starting out, or it could even be a thought process that you're experiencing right now that you would like to discuss and how you could get over it? Kim?
Yeah, I'll start off and say that the biggest battle for me is being present and showing up, especially like this, putting my face out there. That has always been a challenge. I'm an introvert. If any of you guys have heard me talk, I am comfortable in the background. I do not like being out or being the center of attention. So it is a struggle for me. I mean, it gives me a lot of anxiety whenever I have to be present in this way. But in order for me to continue to scale, grow my business, I'm the face. Even though I'm in the background doing all the work, I'm the face of the business. And no one is going to stand up for my business or advocate for my business better than me. This is my baby. I named my business Josie May after my grandmothers because one is Josephine and other is Jessie May. That's how I came up with the name Josie May, but I named it after them because of their strength, their, faith. Everything good about them is what I aspire for my business. So I cannot truly honor them if I'm sitting in the background. So that's how I think about them every time that fear comes in because it is a challenge to stand up and be present, to do something and step outside of your comfort zone. It's not comfortable. But here's the thing, if I stay in my comfort zone, My business will be exactly where it was when I decided to stay in my comfort zone. It will never move forward. So, if I truly want to honor them, if I truly want to provide a service that I know I can assist people with and to provide a pain point, I have to step outside of my comfort zone. And God is not going to give me something for me just to hold on to. It's supposed to be shared. It's not supposed to just be held on my computer or within me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? And Kim, you pointed out something really special, that you associate your business with something that has a very deep meaning to you. So when we are creating our businesses, when we are creating these companies, it's very important that we identify our why. Why are we doing this? Why are we taking this big leap? Because some of us may come from families where we may be the very first entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Some of us may have been the very first college graduate or even high school graduate in some of our families. So we are setting ourselves in uncharted waters, so to speak. So when we are in a place of uncertainty or um, maybe even a little disarray, having that why is grounding for us.
Mm-hmm.
So would anybody else like to share?
Ms. T said, the biggest battle is fighting with self when you have to show up for your business because sometimes you have been knocked down because you may not know your products are good enough or are comparing yourself with folks who have been in business for years. I need some glasses.
I see you getting
I
close.
have glasses, but they bifocals, and I can't get used to the bifocals. It's that's
Very good. But
that's true.
yeah,
But we also have to stop comparing ourselves to others.
very
You
true.
know, we everybody has a unique gift and a unique talent, and my gift isn't your gift. Your gift isn't my gift. But just find your sweet spot, and you'll be good. Don't compare. Use other people's work as inspiration.
Yeah. And Jim and another agreed, saying that's their problem as well. They don't feel like, their products are good enough, because they're comparing themselves to others. And like Kim just said, sometimes, yes, we compare ourselves to others because that's what we see, especially when we come into a new space, right? So we're in the new space, we don't know anybody, we're trying to get acclimated. Um, And the first thing that we are going to do is just see what the other people around us are doing, how they're navigating, how they're working. And that's normal. But at the same time, one thing that I have learned is I don't know someone's journey until they told me. So coming into this space and I'm seeing people that are doing amazing, amazing things, creating amazing art, you know, I myself had to find out where I fit in, because even though I love the art, the products and stuff, what I'm good at, where my skill set is not necessarily in the art per se. So for me, the art is something I do to relax. With me, I have a very extensive administrative background. That's my passion, helping businesses run, teaching them, the nuances of their staff and things like that's my passion. So I had to figure out how in this digital space
Mhm.
I could implement that into the business. It was a little hard because again, most of the people they come for the art, but we have to remember that every job that we have held, that every title we hold, that comes with experience as well. So we are multidimensional with what we do. And when we compare ourselves to other people, we limit ourselves. So I want you guys to just start seeing yourself as a 3D image, right? All sides, multifaceted, and start leaning in on your gift and what it is that you have been placed here to do. T, you have your hand up.
And I was going to say, instead of comparing your work to somebody else, I had to learn that I now use it for inspiration. That way you can put your own twist on it, do what you want to do. And that person that and the funny thing about it, that person that is either you're comparing yourself with or they're comparing themselves to you don't even know this is existing, you know? So, like I said, use it as for inspiration. Make it better to your liking, to who you are, to your audience. See, one thing I had to learn also in this business is when you get into the place of comparing yourself, you're not tapping into your audience, you're tapping into the person that you're comparing yourself with. And that's why sometimes that stuff starts falling apart because you're not being true to yourself. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's really important, just being true to who you are and knowing, yourself. Because it's really easy to try to compare yourself to somebody else. And I had a friend who used to say all the time, you may see the glory, but you don't know the story. So you may be comparing yourself to someone who has 20 years of experience and you are brand new in the space. And yes, your art or your product may not be exactly like theirs, but you have a unique gift and a unique talent, and you have a unique perspective because nobody can do you better than you. So, like Ms. T said, use it as inspiration, but don't compare your work to someone else's. Use it as inspiration and figure out how to, if that's the thing that you want to do, find out if you can partner with that person to see if they can help you learn how to do that thing, but with your own spin on it. We don't need too many duplicates of the same stuff. We need people to be individuals. And like Michelle said, everybody has a unique background and a unique strength. And every job, everything that we've done, every experience that we've had gives us experience that no one else has, gives us a perspective that no one else has. So tap into, who you are and whose you are, and figure out what your true passion is. And, I've always told my son, if you can figure out what your true passion is and figure out how to monetize that, you'll never feel like you're working.
True. Very true. In the chat, a member put they have trouble prioritizing. They can create all day and night, but need to spend more time organizing and planning. I can understand that completely. I call it myself personally, I call it busy procrastination. So so it's procrastination because you're not executing the task that you need to do, but you are busy. You're creating, you're doing things. I know one thing that started to help me in regards to organizing my time and planning um, was doing things in about 30-minute increments, right? So I would dedicate 30 hours to doing something for the business. So I would either check emails, I would upload content, um, I will, you know, check in on chats and things like that that I have to do. Um, so that is my one recommendation is literally start trying to carve out time for specific tasks for you to work on and execute.
I'll piggyback on that. Task with a purpose. Figure out what you need to do when you need to do it, and not just spend busy time being busy. I'm big on writing to-do lists. I have goals that I write out every single week, and as I complete them, I check them off. So every week and every day, so literally at the end of every day, I write down what I want to accomplish for the next day. Because if I come to my computer and I don't have a list of things to do, I'm going on social media, I'm going, checking my emails. And that may not be the number one priority that I need to deal with in that moment. But yeah, just task with a purpose. Figure out what you need to do, write a plan for it. I do physical products, I do digital products. There are certain things I do on certain days. And the only way that I'm able to do multi things is because I have a task, I have a list. There's certain things for certain days. And if it doesn't fall within that day, I don't even touch it. I don't even look at it. So that's my advice.
Nice. Nice. Another comment says there needs to be an adjustment from comparison to study along, with understanding that you are starting from the beginning, and what you are looking and what you are looking at is a possible goal, but not the end point once you master you.
That's good.
That is good. Would you like to add anything to it?
Yeah, I'll add to that. Basically, I was gonna say that it seems to be a big thing in our culture that we do a lot of comparison, but it's human nature. But outside of that, anytime that someone rises up that looks like us, acts like us, we tend to be a lot harder on ourselves and forget about the the unique gifts that makes us us. And that, like Kim says, you see the glory, but you don't know the story. You don't know what it took to get there, what challenges they had to make, their sacrifices. But we all have to master ourselves. We can always see someone that might be a guide, a mentor, or just an example. And I had to learn that, and I'm still learning that, in the reinvention of who I am and what my business is all about. But you can take it to heart that there's nothing new under the sun. Everybody is looking to gain some piece of inspiration from what you present, and then you put your spin on it. I mean, how many apple trees do you see out there? It all came from a seed, but it still produces an apple, but it's a different apple each and every time and every season. So we're here for this season, and we're here to, reach out to different people, but we gotta always remember when we start getting around these other people and they're looking up to us or looking for us for inspiration or advice how to do that, we got to remember where we came from. We got to remember what those struggles are and convey that to them as well, so that they can have grace on themselves, because we become our own worst enemy, fighting ourselves, and then we convey that message thing to everybody else, and that this creates this vicious cycle where it takes us longer to become the best that we can be. That's my spin.
Yeah. And we're ever changing too. I mean, you go through different phases in your life. I mean, I've said it before, I'm not the same chick I was in my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, and now in my 50s. Not the same chick. And I'm evolving. It feels like I'm truly evolving. And that is something that is unique and interesting to feel and kind of watch, because I'm kind of stepping outside of my own way, which is new for me. I'm an A-type personality. I want to know the next 5 steps ahead. And now I'm just kind of going with the flow. So as God brings things to me, I'm going, okay, I'll do it. And I'm being obedient. And it's freeing. It is new for me because, like I said, I like to be in control. I am a control freak. And if I can't control the situation, it feels like I've always felt like I was out of control. But this is the first time where I'm truly being obedient and just allowing. And when you start doing that, it's different. It's a little scary. It's a little scary, but it is also freeing at the same time.
Yeah.
There's another thing that comes to mind once you say that. I mean, who we were in our youth compared to where we are, hopefully maturing and the reinvention. We start realizing when we get into our 50s, a lot of the stuff that we were carrying from the 20s and 30s didn't even belong to us. And had we had the same spirit as far as reckless abandoning and do our own thing and whatnot, and learn to master ourselves and become better, I think we could have been further, but that's not necessarily true. God knows us from beginning to end. And where we are now is like, okay, now I can talk to you because now you understand these experience and what they mean to you in life. There weren't failures, there were building blocks. So now you could take those building blocks and even become who you need to be now, following your purpose even faster when you were trying to do it in your 20s when you didn't have a clue. But now you have some more insight as to what's important, what's truly important, what's truly valuable. What is it that you are now doing with your life that you didn't really have a care in the world before? So all that, and with the comparisons muddies the waters until we just like start looking at ourselves as like, why am I carrying all these bags? They're not going in my destination. So I'm leaving this, I'm leaving that. I need to become a little bit lighter in the place where I'm going, because where I'm going has the new stuff that I need and that I don't even realize. So it's that comparison is very a very slippery slope if we keep on doing that, because we'll start accepting the comparisons baggage as our own because we're relating. Oh yeah, okay, you did 20 years of this. Oh yes, I did 20 years of that. And find out their 20 years was very hard road, and then you start accepting those as they start transferring to you what you don't even realize. And it's like, okay, in order for me to be that, I have to have nope, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. So we got to be very aware of what we're doing with this comparison thing. If it's to study, cool. But if you're trying to use that to really relate and connect with that person, don't do that. Because now whatever baggage that you were trying to get rid of, you've now got theirs. And you don't know what to do with it. But you've now accepted it as your own. And on the flip side of that, God has given you a gift, and you're telling him, no, that's not mine because I got this baggage. And he's trying to make the exchange. You're like, no, I got to work this out. And he's like, I never told you to pick that up, but I'm telling you to take this. So open your hand, give me this, and let me take that. And I never want you to touch it again. So that's what God's been talking to me about, gifts and now comparison. It's we need to make that distinction.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And when you were just doing the comparison, I'm gonna have you guys laughing. So I have a toddler, and that's literally our exchange when he has something that he's not supposed to have. So, you know, imagine us doing that with God, right? Like Dean said, God's like, here, I have this for you. It's this is what you're supposed to have. This is what you're supposed to do. And we're like, but no, I don't want to give it. You know, we're blocking ourselves, we're stopping ourselves um, from really achieving what it is that's for us, right? Another mention in the comments was a battle of mine is trying to build self-reliance. Now having major limitations with being disabled, how can I be enough? I compare what I used to be able to do. One thing that I can say, loving on someone and watching them physically change from what they used to be to their new normal is first and foremost, give yourself grace. Please, please, please give yourself grace. This is new for you, new for the tribe that surrounds you. And I want you to also know that you are enough. You are more than enough. You may not be able to function or action the way that you once did, but that does not change the heart, the mind, and the spirit that God gave to you. Okay, so I definitely, those are my 2 words for you. It's definitely grace and ease. Grace and ease through this process.
Mm-hmm.
With me being disabled myself, I can tell you, oh boy, if you are used to doing something that was more physical than you are doing now, it will take a toll on you. But you have to have somebody that's in your corner. And I don't know what your disability is, but if you ever want to talk about it, I'm here to talk about it because, as I wrote in the chat, I tried making my business in my 30s when I wasn't disabled, in my 40s after I did become disabled, and it didn't take up until I was 50 to find somebody to align myself with that I could, excuse me, work with. And if she did not pass 2 years ago, we would still be going strong to now. But sometimes I also wrote comparison or alignment. Sometimes we may think we are comparing ourselves, but we're actually finding somebody that we can align ourselves with to help. And that's where collaboration comes in. So if you ever want to talk about how to craft these streets being disabled, I could tell you. I've been disabled since 97 and it's 2025. So
It's good
that's it.
wisdom. Yeah. To piggyback, I would just say give yourself grace. You are learning your new you, and be kind to yourself. Just like you would be kind to someone else who is going through the exact same thing. We have a habit of being incredibly hard on ourselves. Give yourself grace and learn how to do the new you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I want to add one more thing. Um, when I became disabled, I couldn't walk. I went from a body brace to a walker to a cane, and then I started walking again. It took over 2 years, but me within those 2 years, that's when Shell and I decided, well, we're going to start crafting. And what I did, because at that time I was at home, I started making book bags for her classmates. And I think you still had a Little Mermaid.
Mm-hmm. I do.
So with everything, it's always baby steps. Don't rush into anything.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you. Yeah. Anytime that we get knocked off our course, It does take a toll on us, so ease your way through it. This is a new space. It's a lot of information. It can be a little overwhelming at first. Um, but I would just say take your time. There's no rush. There's no marathon. Just take your time. What resonates with you, then that's what you go towards. Um, Being new in this, well, speaking to the newbies in this space, I will say, you're coming in and everything is bright and shiny and you're trying to figure it out and everything like that. Um, go to the things that call to your heart is my one word of advice. Um, it's always good to learn a new skill or trick. However, definitely go to the ones that call to your heart because, again, you had a why as to why you're even here today, right? So now it's just taking that time and identifying what goes with that why and what that will look like. All right. Does anybody have anything else they would like to share? And if you guys would want me to stop the recording, all you got to do is put a 1 in the chat and I will definitely stop it. I wanted you to know I respect your privacy. So please, if you feel you want to share but don't want it recorded, just put a 1 in the chat and that's no problem. All right, y'all good? All right. So I do have a little presentation for you guys that will dive a little deeper into the topic that we are discussing for today. All right. The battlefield of your life, identifying where you need to stand up. So we have discussed, what those challenges look like and how they impacted us, how they maybe even shaped or changed our perspective. And with this presentation, I wanted to dive in and give you guys some helpful tips on how to navigate through those challenges, right? So a really good quote that I saw is, "You can't win a battle you refuse to fight." And to me, that statement was very, very powerful. And the reason why is it reminds me of showing up for myself. How much am I willing to push in order to achieve my dream and to get over the hurdle or challenge that's currently in front of me? All right. So, what is your battlefield? Well, internally, we had this discussion, which is fear and self-doubt, limiting beliefs, feeling that you are not enough, afraid to take a chance on yourself, knowing that you have created something of value, but doubting to put it out there because, again, we're starting with the comparisons. And even though we may not intentionally do it, being that it is a practice that we have done unintentionally for so long, we subconsciously respond, right? So what does that look like when we are giving in to those internal beliefs? Well, first, we start thinking about competition, that the field that we're in, everything is a competition, rather than, as we were stating, utilizing it as inspiration and motivation to push you forward. Okay. When we are constantly fighting with these internal battles, resource scarcity. So because we are so locked in to our mind and what our thoughts are, it may limit us from actually stepping out and reaching out to try to get the assistance that we may need. right? Another is unsupportive environments. So there are times where we may not be in our perfect or right space. And sometimes we're in environments that we really cannot grow in. And a battle alone with that is, you know, that could have been a space that at one time was your comfort zone, but now it no longer serves a purpose because you have grown and you have elevated beyond. So knowing when to extract yourself from those situations. All right. So when it comes to these internal battles, where do you need to stand up? How do you stand up? Well, first, let's clarify your values. This goes back to let's clarify your why. Why are you here? Why are you challenging yourself? Why is this something that resonates with you in which you want to move forward? What it is it that you want to show being in this space. All right. Pinpoint your priorities. So identify what is critical for your success and where you are compromising. And that's a really, really strong statement because we don't realize how often we trade off our time, right? We really don't realize how much we trade off our time. And a lot of time, especially in this day and age, it's really easy to waste time. And one of our key culprits, it fits in the palm of our hand. It's our phone. A lot of us can spend endless hours just scrolling, scrolling, mindlessly scrolling. And don't get me wrong, I am guilty as well. I have caught myself like, girl, you got to get this stuff done. What are you doing? And I have to put it down, but realize where you are making compromises with your time that may not be of value and see how you can pivot and shift from doing that activity, right? So, say for instance, like I said before, I'm a busy procrastinator. I will do busy work to keep away from doing stuff that I really need to get done. It's not my most popular trait, but it's one that I do. Um, and I even have to challenge myself with that because it's like, okay, Michelle, number one, you are a grown adult. You have to do the responsibility. You have to do the responsible thing. Um, and a lot of times I have to say, you know what, I'm not going to compromise my convenience. So what makes me get up and push forward is I want to say thank you to future me. And this is what that looks like. So say for instance, I have a class or something coming up and I know that I have to get my marketing out. I have to get things done. I have to get, all my I's dotted, T's crossed, the paywall, the whole nine. Well, instead of waiting until 3 days before the class to get everything in order for it, what I'm doing is I start planning. So that way I can schedule out my emails. They can go out in a timely manner. I can follow up with marketing that can go out and scheduled in a timely manner. So by the time it gets closer to the class, I'm present me is thinking past me for basically setting everything up. So now I can either focus on the class at hand, getting, extra things done, or I can focus on my next task. So one thing that I am starting to practice is learning how to set myself up for success. And what that looks like is not necessarily procrastinating, but actioning. So start pinpointing those priorities, okay? And evaluate your support system. Look at the people that are around you and who empowers you and who or what drains you. We would be surprised Uh, Even though we may have been around the same people for so long, if your journey is starting to go in a different direction, if your alignment is starting to go in a different direction, then that particular relationship may not be, fruitful. But if you have a supportive person where they may not be where you are, they may not be interested in what it is you're doing, but they see the growth and the love and the joy in you and they support you, then that's a person you want to keep around. Okay. So definitely, just take it in and just assess. Assess. All right. I think notepads. I'm going to start. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So in the chat, what caught my attention, uh, they stated while listening, I used AI to create a digital calendar with notifications to replace my things to do notepads. I'm going to start there each morning. I will incorporate affirmations and a mood checklist and other things over time to help me stick to it. I love that. And you are welcome. You are welcome. Those little steps, they start to add up over time. They really do. So I'm excited to see how that evolves for you. All right. So, how can we plan our victory? Right. So, we are in this battlefield of life, and as long as we have breath in our body, there is going to be a challenge. There is going to be some type of opposition that is going to test what we've learned, basically, as I like to say. All right. So, your plan for victory: reclaim control by setting clear, actionable goals. So remember, this is your journey. This is the vision that has been presented to you to do for your life. Let's start looking at it and making our list of how we can take the steps to accomplish it. And one thing that I will say, if you are even uncertain about what steps to take, what they may look like, utilize ChatGPT as a resource to help you and say, hey Chatty, this is what I want to do. Can you help me come up with some action steps to get started? And you'd be surprised at the output that Chatty will give you. Okay. Number two, focus on high impact activities that align with your priorities. So again, being around like-minded people is definitely key. I will say in this space, uh, the individuals that I am around, one of the main groups, AI Fusion, with collaborations, as well as the DCT community, being around individuals that are on a similar journey, such as myself, has really, really, really had a positive impact on me overall as a person and even as an entrepreneur. So I will say get around those like-minded individuals, network in local activities that may align with what it is your vision is or what you're doing. Now, don't be scared to start putting yourself out there. Establish non-negotiables that ensure your commitment to your goals. So with that, that is setting up those healthy boundaries, saying basically regardless of whatever I might be doing, whatever may be going on around me, whatever distraction may take place, I am going to focus in on what it is that I have to do. If I have For me, if I have a class that I'm saying that, okay, I have to teach, then I am holding myself accountable to that. And that means I'm not planning anything else on that calendar date for myself because I know I have to prepare. That may mean I might have to, have the kids get have a sitter for the kids, whatever it is, in order for me to be able to deliver on what I committed myself to. Those are the steps and the precautions that I take in order for me to do so. So when it comes to your journey, definitely establish non-negotiables. And that will also help you stay accountable for what it is that you are working on. All right. So how can you navigate through this battlefield and still keep your strength up, still keep fighting, even on days that it may just be better just to curl up underneath your fluffy blanket and pull it over your head and not move, you know? Um, these are some tips to help keep you motivated. So first is self-care. We have to take care of ourselves. And I know it's easier said than done. I'm guilty as well. But when you start including mindful practices such as journaling and meditating or sitting in prayer, and just looking at your overall physical health, these things they start to build up and they start to add up, and you start over time feeling lighter. Because I know personally, as I journal, I am able to just get everything out, get everything out. I do meditate, so it is about calming me down and clearing my mind. You know, physical health, if you can take a walk, um, if you are unable to walk, there are sedentary exercises that you could do as well. So the next is adaptability. So stay flexible and adjust your strategies as needed. Remember, being in this space is fluid. There is no rigid itinerary on how to operate in this space. And especially working in AI, things change so quickly. ChatGPT just released the new a new thing today. Um, so be flexible and adjust your strategies to how you operate as needed. Okay. And celebrate your wins. I should have edited small because I don't believe any win is small. But celebrate your wins, recognize your progress that you're making. You know, you might be a newbie today, but you will not be a newbie 3 months from now, 3 weeks from now, because the knowledge that you retain in even that amount of time is a plethora versus someone just coming in the space. So give yourself grace, celebrate those small wins. When you get a prompt right, when you're able to create a product, so I am a happy dance advocate. Give yourself a little happy dance, do a little shimmy in your seat. But something that will definitely let you and your mind, body, and spirit know that guess what? I am being present in this moment. I am celebrating in this moment. And I'm going to do my little shimmy. And then I'll keep on going throughout my day. All right. So, stories of triumph, shifting your mindset, shift your perspective from fear to possibility. And one way that we can start working on that mindset shift is through positive affirmations. You know, we have to start speaking nice to ourselves. The amount of respect that we would want from someone on the outside is the same respect we need to give to ourselves on the inside. Okay. So we need one way to do that is speak to yourself how you would want to be spoken to. Speak to yourself with that grace. Speak to yourself with that love. Speak to yourself with that mindset of already accomplishing your vision because you can. You can do it. All right. Resourceful problem solving. Think creatively to overcome obstacles. So when opposition comes in front of you, again, this ignites our fight or flight response and how we're going to act to it. Instead of maybe running or instead of hiding or acting like an issue isn't there, look at it for what it is and think of ways that you can overcome it. And the way that we do that is by processing, fully processing a situation, fully processing a challenge, and then assessing it and identifying areas of it that, you know what, I can do it this way. I can do it that way. As we're in a spot for creatives, as we know, there's no such thing as just regular black and white. Even black has a gray scale. So, there is always, always, always possibility and an alternate view to what it is that you're going through. Okay. Reframe your narrative. So, see your challenges as opportunities. It's an opportunity to learn something, one, about yourself, or two, about the situation. But either way, it's an opportunity for growth. It may not feel like it, it may feel uncomfortable at the moment. You may not necessarily like what's going on at the time, but that challenge has been placed in your life for a reason. Because your testimony through it is going, you never know, it'll take and help somebody else. And you share it, you might save a life. You never know. Okay, so every challenge is an opportunity for growth and something beautiful and positive to come from it. All right. Learn from your setbacks, identify areas of improvement. So we are ever learning, ever growing, ever changing. And through that process, we may make a mistake. We may not understand something completely, and they may set us back a little bit. But again, take time, assess it. It is not a sprint. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. It takes time. So pace yourself. All right. Innovate under pressure, find new solutions to overcome obstacles. Again, start thinking of these challenges from a different perspective. You know, it would a mindset, okay, I would typically respond this way. Challenge yourself and say, well, what about if I do it this way? And assess what possibilities could come from that as well. All right. So, what will you do today? This is my homework for today. I don't know, Kim, do you have a journal for them today? Oh, you do? Okay. So you guys can hear both sides. But um what do I want you guys to work on today is identifying an area to take a stand, right? So it could be something that has been weighing on your heart recently, um, something that you might be uncertain about, whatever it is. Identify it, write it down, and take a stand on how you're going to approach it. All right. Write down the first three things you need to do. So, in regards to being able to take a stand, you need action. What actions are you going to do to help you overcome this? All right. And if you need support, definitely the coaches in DCT inboxes are open. My inbox is open as well as Kim's. Seek support, peers, tools, discover those like-minded people. If you're from the DCT community, we just spoke about accountability groups and things like that. Start forming those relationships and have someone similar in that space that you can. Do you understand this presentation? Are you going to that class? Because believe me, having a person like that even you can bounce ideas off of, that you can even be your online class buddy, is so, so helpful and so fruitful to your development in this space and in any entrepreneurial space, really. Okay. So your victory awaits. The greatest battle leads to the most transformative victories. Commit to action and conquer your battlefield. Because as I say to everybody, you got this. You have this. If you're here in this mindset, you already got this. You really, really do. All right. So that is what I have for you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. Any questions? T said the days with the blanket seems to be the biggest day you get downloads. Absolutely, because you're finally sitting still.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you. Kim, you wanted to add anything?
I did take a couple of notes. I love innovate under pressure. That's good. Whenever times are difficult, figure out how to be innovative. I love that. And then setbacks. We all deal with setbacks. But instead of looking at it as a setback, look at it as a restart. Because now you have information that you didn't have before. So your restart should be a lot easier. So you've learned a lesson, so just apply the lesson. So I love that. And then, whenever we go through tests, it's typically, yeah, they're for us, but it's normally used as a testimony that you can share with somebody else. So that gives me comfort when I'm going through ish. I'm like, okay, Lord, I learned my lesson. I can share it with somebody else. So, yeah, that's good. Great presentation. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and the other thing I liked was you can't win a battle you refuse to fight. I love that.
Yeah, that quote, like I said, it hit. I'm like, that is so true. So true. We have to be present on the lines for ourselves. And that even feeds into the mindset from last week, standing on the front line of your life. And what does that look like? And some of us, we're just learning it for the very first time of what that looks like and what it even means to us. So, yeah. Awesome. Awesome. All righty. You want to go ahead into your journal, Miss Kim?
Sure. Hang on. Of course, I have 1,000,001 tabs open. So give me 1 second.
I don't know why when we have a presentation, we always have 20 tabs open. You know
I
better.
know. I know. I'm sorry.
So, but you know what? I think everybody does it.
Yeah, I'm
I
good.
don't understand. I don't understand why.
We watch and do not
To
judge.
judge.
I like that. Oh, gosh. Okay, can you see my screen? Okay, so this week's journal, the battlefield of your life, identifying where you need to stand up. Just a little welcome, a reflection checklist, weekly goal setting, and then it's a 7-day journal. So day 1 is defining your battlefield. Day 2, acknowledging avoidance. Day 3, exploring the why. Day 4, building confidence to stand up. Day 5, identifying resources and allies. Day 6, taking the first steps. Day 7, committing to the journey. And then a couple of journal pages. I will drop the link in the chat. And the code so that you guys get it for free is mindset, all caps. And of course, I gotta find the link.
right, so she went ahead and dropped the link in the chat. So you guys can go ahead and grab that. Also, I put in promo code mindset to go with it, as she did too. A question: how do you open it? She loves the journal. How do you open it in GoodNotes on your iPad?
It's a PDF, so you'll be able to open it in GoodNotes.
Awesome. All right. Let me know when you guys grab the journal by putting a 1 in the chat, so I know we are good to go on that. So,
And don't just download it, use it.
yes.
Use it.
Yes, because if we see y'all in here next week, we're gonna ask you some questions.
We should have started the first one out with questions from the last
week.
journal.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. They said print it out now. Awesome.
And standing on the front line was the journal from last week, and it has the same code. So if you guys want that one, it's I can drop that link as well.
Awesome.
Because this is a series that we're doing for this month, right, Michelle?
Yep. Absolutely. So we have 2 more Wednesdays this month? Yep. So we'll be wrapping up the series this month. Oh, you are welcome. You are welcome. All right, everybody's good to go. Everybody grab the journal. Wonderful. Also, if you didn't have a chance to click the link, you can also save the chat by clicking the upper 3 dots in the corner. Click save chat and it will save to your device. Well, I thank each and every single one of you. I do have a quick housekeeping tip. 2 actually. So this weekend for Harmony's Divine Design, it is a jam-packed weekend. We are doing back to back.
Good thing, though.
We're doing back to back. Goodness, classes. So Saturday, we will be kicking the weekend off with our Intro to GPTs class. So me and T Weaver will actually be teaching this class. And we are going to go ahead and go back to the basics so you guys can understand the intricacies of a GPT, what it takes to put a GPT together. So I'm really excited about that. That is currently on sale with the early bird, but that sale will end tonight at 11:59 p.m. The second class I will be doing is with fellow DCT moderator Kristen Dion. And this one is a little bit more relaxed, laid back. This one is the paint and sip class. So we are going to teach you guys how you can take your AI art and turn it into a paint by numbers, which is super cool. So that class will be taking place on Sunday. So both links are in the chat. All right. Yep, I got those. And Kim, do you have yours for February ready to go or in?
I'm doing I have 2 things. I am doing a vision board workshop February 1st, Saturday. And I will put the link in the chat. And then I also have a replay from one that I did a few months ago. So that one's a little more reasonable, but this one includes a 30-minute session where I help you identify your goals that you put on your vision board workshop. So I'll help you guide through it. The replay does not include that. So that's the vision board workshop. That's February 1st. And this is the replay. But everything that you need to create a vision board is included in both classes. From the templates to affirmations, you just have to plop in any kind of photographs because we all have gorgeous images already. So, but everything else is included, along with a vision board workbook to help you stay focused and on track with achieving your goals.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So I hope you guys went ahead, grab those links. I look forward to seeing you.
Don't close it yet, Michelle. I'm writing to somebody.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, let me go ahead. Well, I can't even stop the recording. Let me know when you're done, T.
Done.
All right. Awesome. Well, I thank you guys for your time this Wednesday. Thank you for spending it with me and Kim. I hope we definitely brought value to you guys, and also help get those wheels turning on how we can action some of those challenges that come up in our life a little bit more. So I thank you, Kim.
Thank you guys for spending an hour and 13 minutes of your day with us. We really appreciate it. We hope that the information that was provided was useful and that you will be able to use it and implement it. We look forward to seeing you guys again. And thank you guys so very much for joining us.
All right. You guys have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Time to rise. Midweek magic light up the skies. Kimberly and Michelle, they're leading the way. Guiding your power, making your day. Midweek, my